Hi, my name is Tina DaSilva. I am sitting here today because I want to share my story. The reason why I want to share it is because I want to bring hope, because I know there's a lot of people that have a similar story that feel hopeless right now. My journey of health started probably when I was about probably in early childhood. I was very sensitive. I had allergies, but I was told that was normal. My body didn't reach a tipping point until about the age of 37. I started getting night sweats and extreme fatigue. And my husband, Guy DaSilva, who was an MD, took me to all the best specialists, and first of which was the gynecologist that said, no, 37, she's way too young to be going through menopause. It's definitely not menopause. But I knew that I was having hot flashes, night sweats, anxiety, and I just didn't feel myself. At the same time, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. And I had very small young children at the time, 4, that were still living at home. And needless to say, there was a lot of stress going on. I started with extreme fatigue, and just my whole body ached all the time. And I just wrote it off as, okay, well, I have every reason to be. I'm running around after 4 kids, and my mom is sick, and I'm trying to take care of her as she goes through cancer. So of course I'm tired. And then I started dealing with depression, and then I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia and plantar fasciitis. And I remember there was a long stretch of time when, and my kids, if they were here, they could tell you that I used to roll myself around on a stool in the house because my feet were incredibly painful and I couldn't even stand on them. And so time went on, and we had moved to Florida after my mom's passing of cancer. And it was something about the move and my mom's passing, my body just crashed. It was like I hit a wall, and I was never the same. And I remember thinking that, okay, well, this is normal. I'm probably depressed because I lost my mom. But at the same time, there's a part of me that knew that there was something deeper, something that was wrong with me. I remember trying to encourage myself every day just to get energy, just to get my kids off to school. And I would make a huge pot of coffee. I'd get everybody off, and then I'd be on the couch by 11 o'clock in the morning, totally exhausted, as though I felt like I ran a marathon. I really couldn't do anything, and my body hurt, and I felt terrible. My husband at the time took me to every single doctor he could think of that could possibly help me figure out what was going on with me. Everybody told him that I was just depressed, and that frustrated me even more because although I lost my mother, I knew that it wasn't depression. And so I remember one day just sitting there talking to him, and I said, I feel like such a failure as a mom. I hope you figure out what's wrong with me, because I think that I'm not going to last very long if you don't. And he knew that I was serious, and he knew that I wasn't a complainer. I'm the type of person normally that always sees the glass half full. And so he had to figure out what was wrong with me. So he went on this medical conference, which was called the A4M, and he discovered new ways that diseases are being treated. He was very apprehensive about it in the beginning because my husband was a scientist, he was a biochemist, and he wanted to see proof and evidence and all that good stuff. But he was also desperate to figure out how was he going to fix me because nothing was working. I did receive a lot of care from standard of care physicians. I was on antidepressants. I was on medicine for fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, and the list went on, but nothing was helping. And he started teaching this class in our church on nutrition, and it kind of lit the fire under him to study more about alternative medicine. And then he thought to himself, this is really strange because Tina already eats very healthy, and yet she's not getting better. Something's wrong with this picture. And I remember one day he went to this conference in Vegas, and he called me and he said, Tina, I think I figured out what was wrong with you. And I said, wow, that's awesome, Guy. I can't wait for you to come home and share it with me. And he was so excited. He's like, T, this is basic sciences. This is not hocus pocus medicine. You're going to be so excited. I can't wait to come try some of this stuff on you. And so then my journey to health started. After implementing a lot of what he learned, Guy came to me and said, hey, what do you think about me going back to school and getting board certified in functional medicine? And I thought, no, that's the craziest thing I ever heard. We have 4 small kids in school. You're 50 years old. How can you go back to school now? But at the same time, I knew that that's what he needed to do because he was so excited. And I started seeing changes in myself happening. So I thought, wow, this medicine is good medicine. People need to know about it. And in the past, Guy never desired to practice medicine. He actually was a hematopathologist, and he chose that because he just thought, I would rather diagnose unusual cancers and lymphomas, etc., and be a doctor's doctor, so to speak, than see the day-to-day patient care. Everyone gets the same thing. You never get to the root cause of why people are sick, and you're just treating their symptoms. And that wasn't rewarding for him. It wasn't challenging. But now suddenly he was challenged. He loved functional medicine. And he started little by little finding different things, the root causes of what my issues were. Some of which were food allergies, huge, major. The first test he actually did on me was the telomere test, and he was very concerned about that because it did not come out favorable for me. And he thought, oh my goodness, I better start doing something quickly with this woman before, it becomes really too much of a challenge. So he started dealing with my food allergies. He got to the gut first because he said your gut is really your second brain. So he started working on repairing my GI system, which was incredibly impactful for me. Then he tested me for heavy metals, and I was off the charts with lead and mercury, which explained my inability to remember things very well. The doctors that I had seen just said, well, you know what, now she's in her 40s, so that's normal aging, but the guy knew that wasn't normal aging, and so did I. So he had to figure out how to deal with the lead and mercury issues so that I can get some of the proper brains back so I could think straight again and be able to care for my kids. So we started doing the IV chelation in our office just for me. He decided at that time that, oh my goodness, I really want to practice this medicine. He started seeing me go from such a dark place to little by little, like an onion, he was peeling away and chipping away these symptoms by getting to the root cause. After the heavy metal testing, he started implementing IV nutrition for me because he realized that I wasn't absorbing any of my nutrition, and I ate incredibly well. And that's how the Sarasota IV Lounge kind of happened later on in years. But at the time, 11 years ago, it was just to keep nutrition in me because I could not absorb anything from my foods. So originally in those days, we called it the DaSilva Protocol, aka Tina's Drip. And that's really was the beginning of my health transformation. Little by little, through functional medicine, my health completely transformed. And today, I am 56 years old, and I have to be quite honest with you, I've never felt better in my life. And I have been through a tremendous amount of stress in the last 3 years. A lot of you know that I lost my husband 3 years ago. And needless to say, that was incredibly shocking and painful. And a lot of you are probably wondering why I still continue his practice. And it's because the people that are like me, that think there's no hope, and that have been to a million different doctors and told that they're either normal or they're just depressed. Those are the people that I want to reach today. And I remember after my husband's passing, one of the first things that I thought of, I thought of a lot of things, but something that really stood out in my head was, what about the people that are like me? So it's one thing that I lost my husband, but He was impacting the world and in the community and in his circle of medicine in so many incredible ways. How can this just die with him? And so that Monday morning, I remember going to work with my kids and trying to figure out how we can do this. And today, by the grace of God, this place still exists. And it's because my passion is to encourage people and to give them hope that there is a better way, that they can get better, and that they don't have to accept all the symptoms that they're feeling. And I just want to give people hope. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm sharing my story. It's for you. I feel like I have the best job in the world. I hate that I have to do this without Guy. And it seems almost impossible that it even happens without Guy. But what I love is that every day I get to see lives transformed. And honestly, how many people can say that? To me, I have the best job in the world because I love people and I love seeing them get better.